energy forecast for Friday, October 13th. So welcome to Friday the 13th. And of course, if you think that today is a bad day where bad things are going to happen, then you've definitely had your mind tainted by the greater, grander collective that wants to demonize the number 13 because of its actual power. This is a very lucky day, a very powerful day. And again, the connections to all of the different 13 cycles, the 13 aspects, the 13 everything that has been hidden away. And again, definitely put in a limelight where it's bad, where it's negative, where it's something to fear. Hopefully we can learn how to kind of switch our narrative, switch our perspective, and understand why some of these things have been kind of demonized, and it's because it holds a lot of power. So let's hope that we all have a very, very lucky Friday the 13th. Now, outside of this very, I'm going to say, lucky kind of superstitious day, we do have the moon in Libran energy building towards this new moon solar eclipse that we will be having at 21 degrees in Libran energy here on Saturday, October 14th. We have the sandwiched energy that we're kind of experiencing here today. We've had a lot pop off this week thus far. Let's just give you a little bit of a recap. Venus cleared her post-retrograde shadow period as she moved into Virgo energy on Sunday. Tuesday, we had Pluto go direct. Thursday, of course, as I'm coming to you now, we are still acclimating and adjusting to Mars moving into his rulership in Scorpio energy. And of course, the eclipse energy has been very much swirling, very much activating a lot of different ascension symptoms within us. Take a listen to this week's ascension forecast if you haven't already for a rundown on what it is that you should be experiencing. Our central nervous system's kind of popping off. We have a lot of dizziness. We have a lot of nausea. We have a lot going on in our physical body due to the energetic impact that, of course, we are having due to all of these moving planetary influences. So we're definitely in the thick of it. With the moon in Libra, of course, the major focus is on relationship dynamics, finding balance, peace, and harmony among the craziness, the confusion, the chaos, really focusing in on the silver linings, on the beautiful things of life as we try to really flip the script out of those negative narratives, that negative energy, and we're really trying to keep the vibes very high, very positive. Now, whether or not we're actually going to achieve that, that still remains to be seen, but that is the energy and the effort that we have to put in when the moon is in Libran energy. So there are 8 different aspects here today, 5 of them going to involve the moon. The moon in this Libran energy is going to make a positive interaction with Venus. Venus, of course, rules over the Libran energy, rules over Libra season, rules over this new moon eclipse that we're about to have in Libran energy. But of course, Venus is grounded out. She is in Virgo energy. She is rooted in really taking a good look at the small changes, the small adjustments that she can be making in the run of her day, especially where her routine and energy is concerned, so that she can start pouring into herself, really building herself back up to a place of safety, security, and stability, pouring into the health and wellness factor now, really just understanding where it is that we have to take better care of ourselves. And logically and practically trying to create a space where we can kind of invoke more happiness, more joy, more pleasure in our lives by kind of understanding what it is that we've outgrown. Now, the moon interacting with Venus in this way is definitely going to highlight for us what our heart is asking us to do, what our heart is asking us to pursue. We've been through the ringer, so to speak. Our values, our priorities have changed. What makes us happy, who makes us happy has changed. And therefore, there is a little bit of an illumination, if you will, on what it is that we still have on our to-do list, the minor adjustments that can be made in order for us to create a realm of reality, a physical place, environment, circumstance for us to actually grow and heal in. Venus, shortly thereafter, goes ahead, makes a positive interaction with Pluto. Pluto, of course, is the great transformer. He just went direct in this Capricorn energy. He's here to help empower us. He's here to boss us up, to show us where it is that we have to take control back, where it is that we have to step into the creator type of mind frame. And because of the interaction with Venus, there is a major change, a major transformation taking place in our heart space with, again, who and what brings us happiness and who and what does not. Really kind of flipping the script and understanding what it is that we have to do to take control back and create order where there's been emotional chaos. Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, now in his rulership in the Scorpio energy, just rearing to go, ready to take action and make moves. However, because we're in this eclipse energy, it is better for us to step back, to surrender, to go with the flow, to truly observe some of the situations and circumstances that are popping off in order for us to get the bigger, broader picture of information and details that we don't even know are hidden from us at this point. Again, if we were to take action in eclipse season, we might actually find ourselves putting ourselves further back on the path in which we desire to be. And a lot of that is just because of the wild card energies of eclipse season. And so we're kind of, going against the grain if we try to take action and make moves. But the urgency, the passion, the desire to do so is still very much there. Now, Mars is going to trine, which is a beautiful interaction, with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who, of course, is retrograde in Pisces energy, helping us to dissolve and deconstruct our old belief system, our old realm, our old reality, the old version of self. Now, this is a beautiful interaction because the trine means that we have like elements. Mars in the Scorpio energy is a water sign. Saturn retrograde in Pisces energy is a water sign. And what we know to be true about water signs is that they are hella cleansing. We definitely need to be kind of cleansed from the negative funk, if I do say so myself. We get that cleansing and then we get a little bit of a nudge in the right direction where it is that we are making the small changes, especially in our realm, and we are able to actually see what it is that we're looking to transform. Now, Mars and Saturn kind of interacting in this way, first of all, it's going to give us a boost to our, I'm going to say, willpower, our determination, our endurance or perseverance. We're really kind of fixated and obsessed. We get that from Mars now in the Scorpio energy. But what we're also doing is we're realizing where it is that we have to balance the scales of action versus planning and strategy, because we're very, very aware of where it is that we can't just take action and fly by the seat of our pants anymore. Everything has to be kind of a little bit better calculated, if you will, so that we're not wasting time, we're not wasting energy. This is going to highlight for us where it is that we're becoming a little bit better in selecting the activities and the actions that we actually want to bring to life, because again, we're recognizing our energetic levels at this point, how much energy we actually have to put forth in taking action and building new structures and building new foundations of the physical realm, of our belief system, of this new version of self. Now, you best believe that although this is a very slow and steady pace, again, Saturn, he really slows things down and pumps the brakes, which Mars needs at this point, so we're not going to hate on him for that. We're taking a more logical, practical approach to whatever needs to get done. And we're really starting to understand how our energy levels affect the outcome of whatever it is that we're trying to bring to life, that we're trying to take action upon, that we're trying to actually, do. What we can know from this is that we're identifying more purpose, more of a mission, more of a goal, if you will. We have the ability to get things done, but right now we're talking about the smaller, minute details in our lives. Maybe we have to clean things up. Maybe we have to get organized in our environment. Whatever it is that we are kind of focusing on, we will get it done and we will do a damn good job of doing it. But I want you to think on a smaller scale until the eclipse season comes to pass. This is definitely just showing us where it is that we have to kind of pump the brakes on these passions, these desires, this intense urge to just take over the world in one night. This is about moderation. It's about really understanding where it is that in order for us to be successful in reaching our goals, that we have to pace ourselves. And that can be a very tough love life lesson for those of us that just want to, close the door on the past, on the funk in which we've been sitting in, and get started in building something new. We really do have to just understand that observation at this point is the key to understanding where we need to pour our time and attention and energy in when we're gifted with the green light go ahead to actually do so. The moon in Libra is then going to interact with Saturn, and this is going to help us kind of balance the scales, so to speak. We understand where we have passions and urges and desires to make moves, to build new, to bring new things to life, but we have to balance it out with, again, the plan, the strategy, the observations that we currently need to make. There is this back and forth where, yes, we are riled up and ready to go, but we do have to kind of pace ourselves so that we don't burn ourselves out long before we actually bring something to life. That's one of Mars's downsides, is that, of course, he's rearing to go. He was willing to jump into new things and take action and make big moves and really exert all the energy that he's got in order to bring new elements to life, but he often burns himself out long before ever seeing that vision, that dream, that goal actually manifest. So we're getting a little bit of I'm going to say, reality check on where it is that we can't do all the things, where we have to kind of act as the observer and be rational and logical and practical with our energy, with our goals, with our visions, with our dreams. That doesn't mean that we can't emotionally invest in all of the things that are exciting to us and new inspirations, new directions, new motivations popping off. But what it kind of is suggesting that we do is to keep that emotion in check so that we're not taking action prematurely without a proper plan, strategy actually in place. The moon goes ahead, bumps into Jupiter in a very positive way shortly thereafter. I love this because it means that there's a lot of emotional growth taking place. Jupiter is about our growth, our expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. He's retrograde in this Taurus energy. And what we know is that we're examining where it is that we have to act as the observer to see whether or not we're still in alignment with some of the missions, some of the goals, some of the dreams, some of the visions that we've been trying to manifest since the beginning of the year. The moon interacting with Jupiter in this way is very bubbly. It is very optimistic. We do have a tendency to maybe bite off more than we can chew and overestimate what we're actually capable of. But at this particular point in time, we're just going to run with the highs. If you need to sit in those highs and dream the biggest dream possible, only to know that, we're going to come down from that vision, from that dream, and become a little bit more logical and practical and maybe condense that vision and dream into something that's more realistic, that's okay. But we just want to make sure that at this point, because we have been sitting in the funk, the minute that we get kind of stuck in our emotions and in our mental plane and in our imaginative state and really starting to conjure up the possibilities for us, don't hesitate on going all the way, balls to the walls, to create this great big vision and dream. Hold that thought, hold that vision, hold that energy, because that is the vibration and frequency that we're going to need once eclipse season has come to pass and we are gifted with the green light go ahead to start bringing to life some of the visions and goals that we're currently trying to kind of conjure up inside of ourselves. The moon is then going to interact with Uranus in not the nicest way. Uranus is the great awakener. He's retrograde in this Taurus energy. Instead of giving us a little bit of clarity, we're going to sit in the confusion for a moment. Instead of giving us an aha moment, an epiphany on how it is that we're going to break free from some of the things that we're currently trying to break free from, we're just going to focus on where it is that we're stuck. We kind of slip into a negative attitude and negative perspective here for just a second. Again, with all of the energy swirling, we, especially in Libra season, we have a high, and then equally, we have a low. And then we're going to have a high, just not as high as that first high, and then we're going to have a low that isn't as low as that first low. That's how we find balance. That's how we find a middle point. So it can't be all rainbows and butterflies. We do have to kind of move from huge amounts of clarity that we should have been kind of downloaded with the interactions, the positive interactions with the moon and Saturn, and then the moon and Jupiter. They're really interacting well. They're boosting us up. They're giving us an over, let's say, exaggerated path, plan, and possibility. But we do have to come down from that. And this is why I say, as long as you understand that we reach a high high only to experience a low low, that is part of the process of meeting ourselves in the middle. So there is a lot of confusion, more so than clarity. There is a lot of questioning in a negative mindset instead of a positive mindset. And we do have a little bit more tunnel vision on the fears and the doubts and the insecurities that are preventing us from staying in that optimistic mind frame. Now, Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves, who is currently in this Libran energy, again, trying to kind of weigh the pros and cons of all the different possibilities and paths and alternatives that we got going on here. Mercury is going to interact with Saturn in not the nicest way, and this is definitely going to be a Debbie Downer. This is definitely going to put our mental plane in a negative perspective even further than the emotional negativity that we just kind of picked up on with the confusion that we are currently sitting in, where the fears, the doubts, the insecurities are becoming louder than the certainties, the assurance, the confirmation, the validation. Mercury and Saturn are kind of bringing us a little bit down, a little bit of a reality check, very much stuck in the past, very much trying to talk ourselves into just kind of settling, just kind of understanding where it is that we're trying to paint a prettier picture of our current circumstances than it actually is, so that we can quote unquote release ourselves from being responsible and accountable of kind of making moves and doing the big things and making the big changes in order to free ourselves from the current constructs that we're finding very limiting and very restricting. The moon, the last aspect that we have here today, is the moon in Libra, interacting with Jupiter, retrograde in Taurus energy, in not the nicest way. So like I had mentioned earlier on in the day, we had this elation, we had this positivity, we had this confidence. We were going for those big dreams. Nothing was going to stop us. Anything was possible. Well, the latter part of the day is where we kind of come down off of that high. And the moon interacting with Jupiter in this way is going to illuminate for us where it is that we're just scared. We're uncertain. We don't know what to expect. We're having a hard time staying positive. We're having a hard time even seeing the forest past the trees at this point because we're so tunnel visioned in this state of paralysis. And again, we're in the dark phase of the moon. A new moon is the dark phase of the moon. There's no illumination in the sky for the sole purpose of us sitting in the funk, sitting in the darkness to really explore what it is that we are and are not willing to continue to experience or tolerate. So as magnified as some of these emotions will be, and again, we're going to feel all the feels here. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be chaotic, especially in this eclipse energy. There is going to be an over-exaggerated sense of drama, sense of uncertainty, sense of fear, sense of doubt. And that is okay. We need to sit in it. We need to appreciate it. We need to understand how the darkness makes us appreciate the light.